And I think we are now live. All right, cool. Hey, everybody. As some of you already know, if you were in the Discord, or if you've listened to some of the past couple streams, we've mentioned the idea of having something akin to a creator spotlight, hence the name of the stream, Humo's Creator Spotlight. And today on deck, we're going to have JakeParade talking about some of his stuff. The point of this series is essentially, well, I call it a series, as long as this doesn't blow up in my face. The point of it is going to be that we bring people on to talk to about their creative processes, who they are, where, like, what their place in the fandom is, whatever it might be, you know, essentially giving them a chance to say their piece on a big stage. So yeah, Jake, if you want to go ahead and take over.
Hey everybody, my name's Jake. I guess my claim to fame, if you want to call it, is Punch Drunk Gator. It's gotten a little bit of rep, I guess, amongst the Snoot community, and
a little bit, he says.
You know, a little. Hey, I keep it humble in my house. All right,
brother. Look, here's the thing. This is my house, so we ain't got to be humble here, dude. People talk about your shit all the time. Like,
I don't believe it, man. I'm not keyed into it. I don't key into it all. You know, I just hear what people tell me. So if people tell me, people talk about it, I guess I'm fucking flattered.
Yeah. In addition to that, obviously, you don't only just write. You also, like, if you're in the Discord, you'll see Jake occasionally post something, usually relating to using a pan and or shovel on snoots.
Yeah, I'm a little snoot pilled when it comes to, you know, bashing them in, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. You know what? That might be a good place to start it off here, since we're on home field advantage. Why don't you run us through a little bit of that, the whole pan saga and how that got started in the Discord?
It just started as like a joke. Like, literally, I brought it up. I don't even remember what the fuck the context of it was. We were just talking about just a Snoot game, I guess. And I was like, randomly, I brought up, like, I wonder if it would be funny to, like, smash a dinosaur snoot in with a pan to see if it would go boing like in a fucking cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And it just spiraled into fucking madness from there.
Essentially, just one of those intrusive thoughts that got vocalized, and then you took it and ran with it.
I took it and ran with
it.
And it's a bit.
Over time, it's evolved from just a pan to a shovel. I mean, like, you've been getting power-ups recently, I think, in the Discord too, right?
Yeah, I've gotten supporters for the cause,
which is crazy.
They too want to see flat snoots, which is you know, fuck it, I guess.
I think there's a couple of snoots too that are on the safety list now, isn't there?
Yes,
how's that one looking?
Whether or not it's because somebody, like, did some cool shit for me and I gave them the right to pick a snoot to spare, or it's just my own personal picks because I'm a biased fuck. Yeah, there are a couple of snoots on the list that are safe.
Yeah.
Namely, I think a couple notable ones are Rosa, Naomi, Mimi.
Schizo.
A couple other ones. Schizo, yes, obviously. My beloved Schizo.
Yeah, your beloved Schizo. That one's I don't know if that's been more of a recent development just in the Discord, or if that's been like a long-standing one for you.
Oh, I've always loved Schizo. Only recently have I developed the chops to just say fuck it and just show it. I don't care.
Just full send.
I'm fucking yelling Schizo's name into the sky. Schizo!
Well,
I love you!
I think part of that is because I don't know if you've noticed this too in the Discord, but I feel like people are masking off more often now.
Yeah.
Like, there's been some Parasaur appreciators that have decided to step forth recently.
Oh boy. Yeah, I've seen that. Come on, guys.
Like, fucking Artiv is what is it, exposure therapy, I think, with Mia to some people. Like, all of a sudden, there's people like, oh yeah, fucking Mia, that's great. It's like, who? What are you guys talking about? What?
Come on, don't let him fucking, like, make you drink the Kool-Aid. Come on, have a little more tact. Be a little more self-aware. Didn't your parents tell you not to talk to strangers?
Exactly. Like, the most I can give him, right, is Naomi, right? But that's like the most. You talk about, like, fucking Mia. That bitch would curb stomp you. I mean, some people are into that, but I can't. I for the life of me can't understand that shit.
What's that, brother?
And then we had fucking Artiv on the fucking what was it, the Sin Confession stream or whatever, talking about his. Oh, you weren't there for that?
No.
Did you ever hear about that?
No.
Oh shit. Oh man, somebody's probably got that ready to go. If I really needed, I'll paraphrase it from what I can remember, but Artiv had to jump from YouTube chat to Twitch chat because he was like, I'm not getting fucking owned by YouTube right now. It was, and I'm paraphrasing here from what I can remember. I thought about someone mentioned Mia ripping my windpipe out, and I got horny.
And Artiv, that Artiv said that. Artiv,
Yep, Artiv said that.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I know you're in chat right now, brother. Come on, listen to the words coming out of my mouth, buddy. Come on, bro.
He said, "Oh God, here we go again."
I see that, man. You need some help, brother.
I like the one thing I give him with that whole thing is he's the person who's willing to say what he's thinking out loud. You know, I'm sure just about half the people in this fucking chat have something as probably bad, maybe even worse. If I'm honest.
Look, I'm gonna put myself on blast. I've said some unhinged shit.
Yeah, no, it's the same.
I won't say it on live. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, yeah, no,
that badly.
Maybe not on the creator spotlight, right?
You can go find it in the Discord if you. I said it in public. You can go find it in the Discord if you search hard enough. I won't say what it was, but
yeah. Oh boy. Well, I think we should probably go ahead and get into more of the creator aspect here. So obviously you are pretty well known in the Discord for writing Punch Drunk Gator, right? I personally haven't read it yet because I'm planning on doing it on stream, which, you know, right, with some of the developments, perhaps that'll be happening sooner rather than later. But so
pour one out.
Why don't you run us through maybe like how all that got started?
So how I started writing Punch Drunk, huh? Okay, that's a fun one because I actually started my little Snoot writing career with another fic called I Wani Marry That Gator.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just after I had finished playing Wani for the first time. And I had gotten E4. And I was like, and I had already gotten all the other endings. E4 was my last one. And I was like, I stared at the new main menu screen and I was just like, is that it? That's it? There's no more? Are you fucking serious? I'm pissed. So I started writing my own shit. And I wrote the first 3 chapters of I Want to Marry That Gator just like by myself. I didn't intentionally plan on sharing them originally. But one night after I had finished writing the 3rd chapter, it was like 4 a.m. and I was sitting up and I was like, you know, I have an AOA3 account. I don't do anything with it. Fuck it. I'll just upload this. See where it goes. And then I uploaded the first 3 chapters. And then it was just like, it started getting attention. And then I was like, hello? People like this? Okay. So I started writing more. And then I got up to 6 chapters of I Want to Marry That Gator. And then I got into like a little rut with it. I was like, I'm having trouble. What's going on with this? And then I realized something tragic. I don't like Inko very much.
Oh, it took 6 chapters to get there?
Yeah, I mean, look, I love Inko. He's the whitest man on the planet. He loves the living tombstone, and white man has been here. How can you tell? Video essay.
Yep.
But he's just he's so hard to write. You basically just have to make a new character to put in his plank from Ed and Eddie looking ass.
Right. He doesn't have as strong of a character as Anon does, so you have more of a empty canvas you have to work with.
So eventually I was just like, fuck this. I need to take a break from I Want to Marry That Gator. What can I do? I'll finish out the last chapter that I was working on, which was 6 at the time. And then I was like, what can I do? So I started workshopping. Because one of the things I like to do is I like to make characters. I've got a history of tabletop gaming behind me. So making characters is something I really, really enjoy. So I just started coming up with like, first I got to come up with a name, the quintessential Snoot protagonist name. So I started workshopping around. I started looking around the Reddits, looking at all the other names, making sure I wasn't stepping on anybody's toes. And that's when I realized after all that looking, I was like, nobody has default, do they? Nobody has default as a name. We've got new account. We've got others that I'm probably blanking on, but new account's the one freshest in my mind because shout out to Mimi.
Shout out to the Mimi team. Hey, love to have you on.
And so I was like, fuck it, default. All right, how's it gonna be? What am I gonna make? How's default gonna stand out from the rest of the crowd? And I was like, oh, I know. I'll just make him a belligerent asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll give him some little mental traumas on the side,
As a
as a little
treat.
treat, as a
Yep.
treat. And then I just started writing, and it's, Punch Drunk is like the first, I would say like 6 chapters, and a few of like the middle ones. It's like it's a rewrite of Wani basically. You know, the beginning I just sort of rewrote to suit Dorian. Otherwise, it follows a lot of the same plot beats. And originally, I was like, I can't change it that much. It's how Wani begins. I need to set the foundations, right? And later, I realized that was stupid. But at that point, I was already too far along. I'm not gonna go back and rewrite all that shit. So I did go back and make a few minor, all like edits to certain things to make it flow a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, as I started getting more into the story, it started developing into its own thing. And current readers can attest that it's diverted pretty fiercely from May and Wani,
Okay.
and it will continue to do so.
All right. So those introductory chapters, they're not significantly different. They're more of like a kind of viewing the same events through a slightly different perspective. Then, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And then you take the more artistic liberties later on, but as you should, because after a certain point, obviously default's not going to be making the same decisions as Inko. There's going to
Right.
be divergence there.
And that was my justification. My other justification was like, the major choices don't really start happening until later.
Right.
And that was my mindset when I was writing it. And I would say things really start changing during the Summer's End party. That's, you could sort of get a better grip on how Dorian, his name is default, but his first name is Dorian.
Mm-hmm.
How Dorian's personality is. And from there, it just sort of went off into its own thing.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense too. If I remember correctly, that's where the first big decision happens that has any effect on the game. Correct? The discussion with Olivia.
Right. It's not really a decision. Both options do the same thing. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Well, yeah, I was aware of that, but it's a situation of obviously there's a point value associated with it, but it's a development opportunity, right, for the characters.
Exactly.
And again, since default's different than Inko, he would handle that I would assume very differently. Correct?
Yes. And he does handle it quite. He handles it in a similar way, but like in a more blunt, like in a more blunt way, I would say. He's a much more forceful personality than Inko is. He knows how to talk to people, even if he doesn't like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the other big thing about Punch Drunk and where it diverges from regular Wani are the interludes, which are so delightfully titled "Bloody Knuckled Interludes"
Mm-hmm.
because they include fighting.
Oh, let's go.
Fighting is a very central point to Punch Drunk because it is one of Dorian's major character points. He loves to fight. He is a delinquent and a brawler. And writing fight scenes is something I enjoy very much. So, there's some violence to break up the monotony.
Right. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit too, because I mean, I believe you've mentioned before that you've had an interest in like combat sport and stuff, right?
Yes, there was a brief stint in high school where I participated in like boxing. I didn't ever plan on like taking it seriously,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a love for the sport. I have a love for a lot of combat sports actually. Like mixed martial arts, you know, is one of my favorite things on the planet. And I wanted to take some of my technical knowledge and sort of implement that into Punch Drunk.
Yeah, I could understand that. I mean, me personally, back in the day, I used to do some karate at like the local YMCA when I was a wee tyke. None of that I could remember nowadays, but
Yeah.
the desire to use like knowledge that you've accumulated throughout your life in your works, that's something that I could see being very appealing.
Oh yes, it is. I love the combat sports. It's a very big part of my my things. This is gonna. I mean, I don't. I know people don't consider professional wrestling a combat sport really because it's show, but that too. Professional wrestling is very fucking fun. I love watching a motherfucker get power bombed into the dirt
Yeah, who doesn't like that, right?
because I'm a man and that's manly.
Big testosterone.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's a lot of where my passion for like the fighting portion of Punch Drunk comes from.
Yeah. So on top of that, do you do like additional research for some of those fight scenes? Because I'm assuming that you would boxing be the only type of like inspiration you're drawing off of
Oh no,
for those fights?
Dorian is an MMA fighter,
Mm-hmm.
like fully and completely. Like he's not a good one right now. He can throw hands, but he's not trained. He's just had a shitload of fights, so he
Right.
knows basically what to do. But he's a street baller with a minor technical knowledge of how to throw a punch, and he can grapple a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. You know, he knows how to put somebody in an arm bar.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
as far as Dorian's technical skill goes, he's just an experienced brawler at that point.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm assuming he'd be a real beast if he had the technical experience.
Oh yes, and that will be a thing that happens later.
Ooh, sounds good. That sounds good. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess since we're talking about the fighting and everything, and this is a way for some people to maybe get some inspiration on how they should approach writing scenes like that. How do you have any tips for people who might be trying to do some fighting scenes in their own writing?
Some fight scene writing, huh? Well, okay. First of all, if you need to just sit down and go on YouTube and like pull up some clips of fighting movies, like The Raid, fucking for some reason The Raid's all I can think about right now, but John Wick, whatever the fuck, you know, whatever fighting movie you can think of, The Punisher, just look at fight scenes, absorb them, and then once you're done with that, start looking at MMA clips, like watch MMA fight highlights.
So the best way you're saying is to observe actual fights in motion.
Yes. Maybe even look at some street fights. Like just go on fucking like World Star or something, and then like just look at some motherfuckers just wailing on each other. Because the main thing about a street fight is, especially when it comes to like a trained fighter, is that you have to realize there's a huge difference between a street fight and like a professional like industry fight. Because in an industry fight there are rules
Mm-hmm.
that the fighters need to be aware of and abide by. In a street fight, you don't have that shit.
Right. It's only
People are
who
gonna
can beat the other person up.
Right, and it's gonna people are gonna play dirty, and people are not gonna play fair, and generally people in that situation, you know, it's human brain go monkey mode, and it's like gonna trigger life or death. It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna fight.
Yeah.
I gotta I gotta do what I gotta do,
I'm not going to be the one
and
on the ground. You are.
yeah, in a street fight, like your brain turns off. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter how trained you are, like unless you're like a hyper vigilant like military man with decades of training, your brain's gonna shut off, and your brain's gonna go ah,
Yeah, because
and you
everybody
just
thinks that they know how they're going to act up until the point that they start panicking, right?
right. And when it comes to trained fighters, have a little more of an advantage in that because they have training, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not gonna fight perfectly as if they were in the ring, and they also need to be mindful of the other person because they can't hurt them too bad. Like a professional MMA fighter, their body is dangerous. They can kill people legitimately.
Yeah.
So that's something they have to be aware of.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Given that I don't know the actual fight scenes in Punch Drunk, I don't know if most of them are like more street fight or I would assume so given the context of like where they're at. There wouldn't. I feel like.
Without spoiling it for you,
Mhm.
the first major like fight scene is a street fight, and
Right.
the others sort of turn into more like an underground thing.
Okay.
He finds
Okay.
he finds a place where he can go that he doesn't have to like put himself in like mortal danger on the street fighting crackheads.
Right. Somewhere to exercise that desire to fight without having to
Right.
worry about actually fucking dying.
It's still not legal per se,
Oh
but
yeah, but some rules are better than no rules, right?
yes, it is Snoot Fight Club. Anon in the chat says.
So then, since there is a market difference between those two types of fights, do you find yourself favoring writing one type of fight over the other, or do you find that they both have their own appeals?
Street fights, they both have their own appeals. Like street fights, you get to write more into the desperation of it, like the oh fuck, if I don't like optimize my movements here, I might get fucked up and die.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with like a professional fight, you can play more into like the technical aspect of it. Like it's like it's a it's a chess match essentially between two fighters. because they have to constantly watch each other. They constantly have to study each other's movements. They have to react to what the other person is doing within an instant. And like it's a technical dance. It's a dance basically.
Mm-hmm.
A
It's a
bloody
very
violent dance.
it's a very different type of pacing that you have to do with those two.
Right.
Okay. Speaking of pacing, I before we went live and everything, I actually ran over to Punch Drunk real quick to get a quick glance at like what you're how much you have written at this point, and you're like well over 100,000 words, right? And like
Yes, I think
close to 20
currently
chapters,
I always have a tab of Punch Drunk pulled up on my browser because I'm a narcissist.
as you should.
But currently, the current word count is sitting at 153,665 words at 22 chapters.
Which is long. That is long.
Yes, and would you believe me? If you look at the published date of the 7th of what is that? I believe April, the 7th of April. By the time the 17th of April had rolled around, I had already written about 100,000 words of that. When I first started Punch Drunk, my pace was frenetic.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna lean into there a little bit, talking about pacing. How did that first 100,000 come to be? How did that spill out at such a rapid pace?
Brother, I don't fucking know. I just sat down and my fucking fingertips started burning against that keyboard. And by the time the 17th rolled around, I came out of like a drunken, enraged haze. Like, oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck did I just do?
Throw a couple glances around, like, wait, I'm back in real life. Like, I just jacked out.
Where am I?
Oh, man.
I just put the fucking pedal to the metal and I just busted that shit out.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, I know in the past when I've gotten more creatively inspired by something, it tends to be, for me at least, sort of a hyperfixation where it's the only thing I want to do, it's the only thing I want to work on, and that's when I get the most of like whatever type of progress I'm trying to get out. But man, I have not written like something like that, man. That is
if there are hyperfixations, that shit was an ultra fixation.
Abso-fucking-lutely from the sounds of it.
I was completely like, aside from like my real life obligations, I was like when I wasn't doing anything else, I was fucking writing Punch Drunk.
Just lock the fuck in. That's crazy.
I have certain friends who can attest to that because it was all I wouldn't shut the fuck up about it for about 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, like if you were that intensely focused, yeah, that must have been living rent free in your brain.
I would be walking to the store and I would just be, can't wait to get home and write Punch Drunk.
Oh boy, Punch Drunk at 3 a.m.
A treat for me. 10,000 more words tonight. Yummy.
Let's do it, buddy.
Yeah, that's how it was.
So how is it dialed back from that sort of like just frenetic pace? Like how are things coming out now?
For one, a lot slower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure people have noticed that, but honestly, I think it's for the best because obviously I couldn't have kept that pace up forever. I would have fucking
fizzled out.
I would have exploded into a million pieces.
Right.
And 23 is chugging along right now. I had a little bit of an issue with it because I'm a smart boy, and I was halfway through writing it, and then my power went out during a really nasty storm, and I lost all of my progress.
Ooh, that hurts.
And I still haven't really mustered the courage to continue it right now, but I will. Yeah. Rest assured, 23 will come out.
Okay. How close do you think you are to the end of Punch Drunk at this point?
We're getting there. We are getting there. And I'll say this, and I know a couple of people already know this, but I'm cooking some plans for stuff to do after Punch Drunk is done. Okay. You know, I've shown some art around the Discord of future characters.
Okay.
We all know Zara, Purple Snoot wife.
I remember Purple, yes.
Long girl, water bay. But yeah, she'll be in the sequel fic to Punch Drunk.
Okay.
As the main romance option.
Well, that sounds good. Dude, don't write her too well, please, because I fucking the Discord's already coming for my fucking neck for like my the purple obsession that I have. If you just make another one, I'm cooked. They're gonna
Purple,
come for me.
purple good though.
Purple is good, but like people want to fucking get me because of that. It's
No,
not my
you're
fucking
purple.
fault.
You're purple man. Just accept it.
I'm the man behind the slaughter, I guess.
Yes, you are the man behind the snooter.
Not the snooter. Oh boy.
But yeah, but before, so that new fic, people are saying it in chat. It is called Between the Lines and Waves, which is a symbolic name representing the fact that the main protagonist is a writer, while his to be GF is a swimmer.
Yeah, so how much do you want to go into that right now? I mean, we could go ahead and switch gears if you want, or we could like lean a bit more into it.
Well, actually, even before I get into Lines and Waves, I recently came up with the concept for a prologue fic to it.
Okay.
Which is called The Graveyard Shift.
Ooh, the Graveyard Shift. All right.
Yes, and it will feature a different character of mine, and it's sort of going to tie in to Olivia more closely, and her career as a teacher for St. Hammond.
I think I remember hearing you talk about this one.
Yes, it's going to explore the struggles of being a teacher trying to live up to the expectations of the mentor before them. And it'll be a fun story to tell.
We all know how big those shoes are to fill.
Yes. God bless Mr. Yadikin. We lost a real one.
Yeah. Or Latikin, I guess, as some people have taken to calling him.
We don't talk about that.
Isn't that crazy? Like that people somehow decided that there was an L out front there.
Mr. Latikin is the evil clone of Mr. Yadikin.
Need to get somebody on that.
Yeah, I'll work on it. Don't worry.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't. There's not too much to talk about Between the Lines and Waves right now because I don't plan anything out.
Yeah, it's still in the brain
I don't
phase.
write things down.
Yeah, that's so. I guess we can like talk about that a little bit more. How? So you just mentioned obviously you don't write things down. How do you go about actually getting an idea of how you want to lay out your fic then?
My brain just do thing.
Okay,
that's all it is.
Is it just like a flow of consciousness type deal? Like you get a thought and you're like, okay, put that down.
I sit down in front of my page and I just stare until I think of something, and then eventually like the word vomit comes out and I just start typing.
Yeah, I can understand that. I know when I've written stuff in the past, you can ask a bunch of different writers how they go about it, and you could have completely different answers from every single one of them. Oh, yeah. Is the crazy thing.
I know people who will sit down and write out their entire fucking thing like as a plot line before they even write their first word.
Which I think is crazy, man. That is so much planning.
Yeah, that's just that's a lot of work. I can't be doing none of that.
I think for me, the reason that I wouldn't be able to do that is because it feels too concrete, and when it oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, yeah, it's too concrete. Like one of the best things about writing is you're writing, and then you're in the middle of a scene, and you're like, oh, what if I did this instead?
Mm-hmm. It's very flowing and free.
Yeah, that's not to say you can't do that when you write out a big long like plot line to follow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously you can still like change things up, but it just feels a little more liberating when you're in the heat of the moment, and then you think of a random cool thing to like slot in there, and then it fits, and then you're like, fuck yeah, this reads great.
Yeah, I think it lends itself well to being hit with inspiration at different points, right? Because if you're sitting there and you're planning it all out at one go, you only have what you know at that moment, right? And sure, that can come out and be a very good a way to do it, but maybe as you're writing you come across something, maybe I don't know, something on the internet, something in real life that kind of skews your view just a little bit more, and you're like, wait a minute, hold up, maybe I can actually do something a little different with what I'm writing here, take this experience and actually apply it.
That's a good point, and that actually brings up another thing I would like to talk about, and it's my music. In Punch Drunk. My music, you'll see this when you start reading it, but a lot of key moments I have linked to music, like a music video on YouTube or whatever, because I want people to experience the vibes. Sometimes it's just like a Wani track, you know, like of course when Olivia shows her face, I have fucking Green Spectre,
as you should,
because as I should. But all of the fight scenes have their own music attached to them, so I want people to read the words, the violence on screen, and attach it to music. Any readers in the chat know my music choices are based.
Preem.
primo, absolutely. Most of them are Mega Drive, the fight tracks. I don't know if you know who that artist is.
I don't think I do, but I'll obviously become familiar with them.
Have you played Hotline Miami?
I have played Hotline Miami, yes.
Do you know the song Slumlord?
Yes.
That's Mega Drive.
Gotcha.
And Slumlord does make an appearance in Punch Drunk Gator. It's the first Bloody Knuckle interlude fight song.
All right, let's go.
Because Slumlord, I think, describes who Dorian is adequately.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen people put like links to like different music in Fix before, and I've always quite enjoyed that because it does help add that extra bit of sensory investment into a story.
Absolutely. And here's a fun fact. When I'm writing a scene that I know is going to have music in it, before I do anything else, I pick the music out.
Mm-hmm.
Music is the first thing I listen to. And then I let the writing build around the music.
Right. Yeah, I that makes total sense because, I mean, when you're listening to music and you're really getting in like the headspace of it, it helps shape how you're thinking about things, right? And so if you're trying to write some kind of scene and you've got that blasting in your ears, or maybe not blasting, but at least playing in your ears, right? I know I like to crank my shit up when I'm doing that, but
I've already got hearing damage. I can't be doing all that, brother.
I'm lucky enough that I don't got the just yet, but someday.
I got the E.
Someday I'm sure that shit'll come knocking and I'll be fucking owned. But yeah, no, it completely alters how you really want to write something, and it's cool to hear that that's something that's actually guided your hand a bit there, because
absolutely.
I definitely, when we get to those points, when we're doing the reading streams, it'll be good to get everybody on board on the same page with that.
Worthwhile words shows up at least once, Mr. Streamer.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Not the worthwhile words, man.
Oh, yes, the worthwhile words. I'm gonna make you cry, boy.
Man, it's hard to make me cry, I think. I want to say it's hard.
I've had people admit to me that my shit made them misty-eyed. I'll get you, boy.
You might. I know some people, with some of the fics we've read, Broken Wings, Eco Noted, and as we're going through None in the Chamber, some people have been like talking about how those have made them misty-eyed and like maybe gotten some tears out of them. I've been okay. I've been good on those. So we'll see if you can give me a good 1-2 punch to the fucking feels.
Those are Snoot fics, brother. You're a little more hardened against the Snoot, but when it comes to the Wani, I think I can get you.
You're in my town now, kid.
You're in my town. You're in your town. You have memories with Wani.
I do. God. You want to talk about that a little bit? Like, just our first goes through Wani?
Our first goes through Wani? I mean, with me, how I first played Wani, this is going to sound scandalous, but I thought it was just going to be a shit post.
Okay.
It was my first visual novel.
Really?
Yes. I had never touched a visual novel before that in my life. I'd been like sort of like a visual novel like hater.
That's not a unique thing, actually. I've seen other people in the community be like, I thought visual novels were just schlock before, but this opened my eyes.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm bored. This seems like it'll be a good shit post. 4chan made it. It's about like a fucking dinosaur lady. All right, fuck it. I'm in. Let's go. By the end of it, I was like, shit, Kino. God motherfucking damn.
How they gonna do that to me, man?
Oh, man. What the fuck did they do to me?
Wow, that's gonna make every other kind of VN look not as great in comparison, huh? Because like Wani is up there in terms of quality. Like there's only like a handful others I can even say. Like Snoot's really good.
Chambers asks, "What was your first ending?" Sorry, buddy, it was 3.
Yo, dab me up. Let's fucking go. Oh man, that E3 hits the fucking hardest when you get it first.
God, like, okay, I don't have like any past personal attachment. Like, I can't relate to Inko or Nanan on a personal level, and I've never had any relationships like either of those. But it's just the writing, man. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, I think for me, what really hit is stories about like, be it mentor or father figures and losing them, and like the how that weighs on somebody. And like
Absolutely.
obviously in E4 it's very optimistic, it's very hopeful and everything. And that's good. It fits for what they're trying to do. But
Oh.
when you get into that E3 and you start seeing how like much it devastates Olivia and how much it just hurts, the
boy.
raw fucking emotions you have to peel back, and then that final scene in the graveyard where she's finally moving forward, that shit is fucking peak.
Oh, I'm gonna get you, buddy.
You gonna get me?
Yeah.
Well, if if you hear all that and you're sitting there rubbing your fucking hands together, you might you might actually get me.
Oh, trust me. Inko didn't react all that much to, you know, Adiatican.
Yeah.
But Dorian.
Dorian,
Oh boy.
oh, that's gonna fucking hurt. And I gotta voice that shit too.
Oh yeah, you will, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah, you will.
oh, you must be looking forward to that,
brother. I'm dreaming about it.
Oh man, well I gotta fucking make sure I really put in the effort there. Can't be letting old Jake down.
Look, SWATcast22 in the chat. Jake going for the throat. Damn. Yeah, I go for the throat. Look, when I write emotional shit, I don't hold back.
Honestly, you shouldn't.
I want my readers to fucking feel emotions. I want them to cry. I want them to laugh. I want them to like tense up in their seat, like holy shit, that happened.
Yeah, that's the best kind of response you can get from writing, right?
I'm chopping onions in the kitchen. So, I'm chopping onions in the kitchen.
Yeah, man.
No, Carlos, we don't do that one.
The throat goat. God,
we don't do that one.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I might not get emotional too often, but I am more than happy to get emotional because that just means that somebody's done a really fucking good job.
Well, hopefully I'm not just blowing smoke out my ass. Hopefully I get you.
I feel like even from what you've said so far, even if you don't get me fucking bawling, you're gonna get me going, get the voice getting a little bit hoarse, a little bit. Gonna need to take a moment to take a sippy of my guagua, which I always keep on hand.
A W. I'll take that as a W.
Yeah, it's a pretty big W. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that kind of talks about Wani. What about Snoot? Have you
Snoot? I was just like, I was like, do I want to play Snoot? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've hit peak with Wani.
Yeah.
Do I care? But then I was like, eventually I was like, fuck it. May as well see what the hype's about. And I played it, and I like Snoot. I got E4 first try with Snoot because I had already fucking run, like, I'd done the whole rigmarole with Wani. I know what the fuck to pick.
Fucking twinsies.
Yeah, but Snoot's good. I like Snoot. Fang good. Not my favorite. Wood pan, but you know.
Wood pan. That's fair enough. I think it's with Snoot. I can appreciate the story for what it is. It's a good story. I think kind of what I touched on earlier with Wani. It isn't the same type of story, right? And it doesn't have the same kind of like emotional grip that Wani had on me. Like, don't get me wrong, I can very much appreciate the story that they're telling with identity and like trying to find oneself and everything, but it isn't one that feels as close to me as the one in Wani.
And it's inherently more lighthearted due to just like the tone of it. Like, it's primarily Snoot actually. Wani I thought was a shit post. Snoot actually is kind of a shit post.
A teensy bit, yeah.
It's just a really, really fucking well written and beautiful Snoot post. It is a Snoot post.
It is a Snoot post, true.
But yeah. Snoot's I like Snoot. Not as high as Wani, but it's good. It's still got Snoot in it, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I generally can agree with that. Some people would call it fucking sacrilege and say, excuse me, my fucking Terra wife is better than your Gator wife. Looks at Lassiter.
Lassiter is entitled to his opinions.
Yeah, he is certainly entitled to them. But God, does he make them loud sometimes.
It's okay. It just means he's loud and proud for his Snoot wife.
And you know, I have more power to him. And then you've got fucking, I don't know, fucking Art over there with me and shit.
That's different.
That one we can all kind of point at and be like, loser.
Brother, come on. I just, you know, I just grit my teeth and kind of go a little bit.
Oh. Well, I mean, that kind of gets through, like, the two big games in the fandom, right? And we talked a bit about your writing. Right. I wanted to touch a little bit on, like, your art and stuff, because I mentioned it at the beginning. How do you go about making art?
I am admittedly not the most competent artist. I don't do art that often, and when I do, it's mostly just because I have like an errant thought that pops in my brain, and I'm just like, I think this would be funny.
Yeah, I can tell by some of the stuff you post there.
Yeah. I won't say I like art's not my thing. I don't do art that often. Like it's not my favorite thing in the world to do. I just sort of do it as like a supplement to my writing
Hmm.
mostly. It's not something I intend on like practicing.
Right. The writing is where you're spending most of your
Yeah.
focus.
The writing is where my cooking goes.
That's
Like
fair.
the writing is my cooking and the art is the fucking like a condiment. The seasoning.
Just a little bit on top.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, this is something that I think every single creative runs into at some point, and I kind of want to get your perspective on this. If you've run into this while you're working on Punch Drunk, or if you've run into this during like other previous creative endeavors, the idea of art block or writer's block.
Ooh, yeah. That when it hit me real hard for I Want to Marry That Gator, I was just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I know what I want to write. Why can't I just put it on the page?
Hmm.
And it frustrated the shit out of me for a while until I realized what was happening because it was just like I felt creatively bankrupt. Like, is this it? Is this all I can do? Is this? Am I just gonna have to like fucking like bite my dick and then forget about it? Like, what's going on here? But eventually, eventually I broke through it and realized what the hell was going on. But like, just some people I know, some people just get it and then they can't get out of it,
Right.
and that fucking sucks. It's one of the most miserable feelings in the world because you have all these thoughts floating around in your head that you want to put to thought, but you just fucking can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. There's no rhyme or reason. It just happens. It's like your thoughts are, like Jack Past 2012 said, it's just like your fucking thoughts are getting sucked into a black hole,
Yeah.
stolen away from you.
Yeah. I mean, I I I am not the most productively creative, I guess I'll say. I've got a lot of ideas bouncing around in my head, but I just never put it to paper at any point. Um, so I haven't ever really gotten really bad like writer's block. Usually I can find a way to get around it in some way, or just think about something else for a little bit and then come back. But how did you find was the way that you got around yours?
It just happened. I
Hmm.
I sort of like when I started writing Punch Drunk to break the writer's block for I Want to Marry That Gator, because that was originally just the plan. I was just gonna write Punch Drunk until I was like, I'm gonna write Punch Drunk until I,
The spark came
you
back.
know, until the spark for I Want to Marry came back, and then it never did.
Hmm. It's instead
So
transferred over to Punch Drunk,
right,
essentially. Okay,
yeah,
that makes
and
sense.
I'll probably go back and finish I Want to Marry someday. Someday, I don't know when. I have all these other plans that I want to do, and I feel bad for all the. I still get emails from AOE3 sometimes saying like, two guests left kudos on I Want to Marry That Gator, and it's just like, ooh, you're gonna be waiting a while for the rest of that, buddy. Sorry.
Kick the dirt a little bit. Well,
Yeah,
it's
kick the can
unfortunate.
down the road bashfully,
Oopsie
hands
doopsie.
clasped behind my back. Sorry.
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah. I.
There's one sex scene in it, and that's all you get.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's not like a smut or anything. It's
They
It's just a
fucked.
sex scene. They fuck. They fug. Yeah, two
Yeah.
G's fug.
Two G's. Yeah. Yeah. Man. So let's talk a little bit about like the rest of the fan. Like, what all do you kind of like end up looking like? Have you read any of the other fanfics? I would assume you have at this point.
Oh, dude. I have a mental illness. I've read all of them.
All of them?
A pretty good clip. Not like obviously all the Spanish fics are an impassable wall into the deep of
Yeah,
the ocean for me.
dude, man, fucking anytime I see Spanish in fic, I start sweating bullets now. Fucking none in the
Like,
chambers beat
uh,
me to death.
uh, yeah, with me it's just like, oh, dude, I bet there's so much peak that I can't read because I don't know how to speak Spanish.
Yeah, fucking language barriers sucks so much ass. I wish I wasn't a filthy
Man,
monolingual.
same, brother, same. Putting it through Google Translate, just don't do it, man.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Like you miss some like fucking like flavor, I guess you would call it, like language flavor. I don't know what the
Everybody's ranting and
actual word is.
raving about fucking Dry My Tears like it's the hottest fucking thing on the planet.
You're just sitting over
And
there twiddling your thumbs.
that translation's cranking out slow as molasses.
Yeah, the
Come on, I
cocaine
want to
was
see what the fucking Naomi hype is about.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, I've already said it before. I think Naomi, she can get a little bit of love as a treat. All right, I feel like she's a redeemable character. There's enough there to work with that she isn't just an Omega piece of shit. So you know what? If there's a Naomi fic, I'm willing to take a look at that.
I'm unconvinced, but she's on my spare list, so I may as well give her a shot.
I mean,
right?
yeah, if you're not killing her, like, come on now. Well, I guess you aren't killing them, you're panning them, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's GVH, that's the 12 gauge, right?
Yeah, GVH is the 12 gauge.
That's
but
fair enough.
We won't disgrace this stream with GVH.
Blech. Fucking bug Trish, man. Fucking bug Trish.
Not like not like regular Trish is any better.
Well, true.
Only marginally. For different reasons.
At the very least, E4 Trish, you can get a little something there.
Yeah.
I still don't understand the people who like the pint-sized trigger, but you know, to each their own. There was
you know.
Oh, go ahead.
It's just I was just gonna say to each their own. You know. The trigger lovers rise up. There's only one good trigger in my eyes, and that's Mimi.
Real. Fucking
shout out
for that. Shout out to Mimi.
Shout out to
again.
the Yellow Titan.
Man, anytime like at this point, anytime that fucking Mia gets brought up, I immediately start thinking about the one fucking comic where Mimi just reaches over and crushes her skull.
Yes, that's such a good fucking little
fucking
comic.
Good. Oh boy, man. There's what is it with Trish recently? There's been like the fucking nerd Trish, I think, that's been making the rounds.
It's not, it doesn't do it for me. Sorry.
Yeah. I think for
makes
some,
me want to hit her harder.
I think for some people, it's the idea that maybe she isn't an Omega bitch if she's a nerd. You know, maybe there's something else to her there.
No, they just want to fucking get their. You know, never mind.
Oh boy, inside thoughts.
They just want braces. That's all I'll say. Braces.
Dude, braces aren't gonna be that good, right? I haven't had experience, but like fucking, I've had braces before. That shit's lame as fuck, bro.
I don't know, man. They just want to see it on the teeth.
Well, you know what? Bro wants braces. What did Lanny mean by this?
I don't know, Lanny. Do I need to? I will join the VC again and hurt you.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. I could always just grab somebody and rip them into this interview room against their fucking will. They wouldn't be able to.
Come
like,
say hi, Lanny.
Like,
Come say hi, Lanny.
See, grabs Lanny right now. He's muted, so he
Hi,
can't do
Lanny.
anything. He's just sitting there.
Unmute your microphone, Lanny.
I'm behaving.
You better be.
I'm being good. I was scared this was gonna forget.
Hi, special guest, Lanny.
Lanny's like the technician that I just kind of motioned over and I say, "Hey, come over here real quick."
Yeah, you feed me Capri Sun when I'm bored.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Here, take this Capri Sun. I give you a pat on the shoulder. You go ahead and go back to the other channel. Right?
Get out of there, you
Have a good
scamp.
time.
What a good guy.
What a fellow, Lanny, huh?
I fucking love Lanny.
Everybody, give a round of applause for Lanny.
He's so great. Oh boy. Yeah. So you said you've read through a lot of the fucking fics. Which ones would you say are some of your favorites?
Well, first of all, let me just say, Inko noted.
Yeah, my boy Arlog. He's got that good shit going.
And its sequel, Inko noted, Love is Colorblind,
Mm-hmm.
which slaps my nuts right off with how good it is.
That finished recently, didn't it?
Yes, it did, and it was peak.
All right, let's fucking go. That gets me excited for whenever I got to get around to that as well.
Oh, you're gonna fucking love it.
I bet I will. The fucking Eco Noted was terrific.
Now, there's a couple of others that I wanna shout out a little bit here. We've got Of Kin by Iorn. It's a good one.
Okay.
Also, you know, how can I not shout this one out because he's a fellow bro in the Discord. Born to Inherit the Stars by Iron Will.
Iron Will. Yep.
It's a good one. It's only got 2 chapters out right now, but he writes peak.
He's cooking.
He's cooking. Let's see. Hold on. I'm on the AOE page right now, just scrolling through shit.
Yeah. I got you.
Hold on. Let me sort by kudos because that's where all the good shit is. Nothing to Something. A good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. It's
I've heard
weird,
that
but
one.
it's good. I Want to Kiss That Snoot by Receiver K. Fucking fresh peak. Absolute Kino.
That one has been
If you-
recommended too.
If you want to see like Anon written in such a manner that is like he was just plucked straight out of Snoot game and put into Wani, I want to kiss that Snoot. It's a good ass time.
I mean, I like Anon. I like Olivia. I feel like that's just a fucking really good pairing for me.
Yeah. All right, I'm giving this one. I'm giving it out to the Mia heads.
Okay.
Fucking Trojan Horse of Destiny. It's good. It's okay. I don't hate it.
Yeah, that's the most you're giving him. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
Oh boy.
You get one. You get one, Artiv.
Only one. Don't start thinking this is gonna be a habit.
Parsing Echoes by Fragout720. I talk with him on Snoot Club.
Ooh.
Shout out, buddy. Let's see. There's a lot of good cope fix. Spinning Your Wheels is a E2 cope fic.
Mhm.
It's pretty okay. There's a whole shitload. Obviously, none in the chamber. If we're gonna like cycle over to Snoot shit,
Right.
like none in the chamber. I'm caught up with that completely. As far as E1 stuff goes, none in the chamber is like the best one.
Okay.
And there's about 20 million different E2 cope fix.
People love to fucking cope fic E2.
Yes, they sure do. One that's fun, I've gone through and read a little bit for E2 is the Mystery Jack series.
Okay.
That one's fun by Josta Pena or Pina. I don't know how you say that. Sorry. Let's see what other. You know what? Bros by Talos Lives. It's not romance. It's a fic about Anon and Nazer, but it's not romance. It's just bros being bros.
Okay. We don't got a 500. It's 500. That's good.
No, it's just Anon and Nazer being homies.
All right, that's cool. I feel like that's something that could have been touched on more.
All right, here's the crackhead shout out. Snoot game, but if everyone was 200% more retarded, it's a goofy read.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Echoes of Regret, really fucking good. That's another E2 cope fic, but it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many more I can name. So many more.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I
encourage anyone who enjoys reading, who enjoys listening to Humo, who just like go on AOE3 and just scroll, man. Look for some unknown fic and then just like give it a shot. You know, there's so much stuff. I mean, obviously Wani's still relatively new in the Snoot sphere, so there's not a whole humongous lot of content out there for it. But with Snoot game, you have a fucking ginormous backlog to work through. There's so much Kino.
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of the reason that I wanted to set up this creator spotlight in the first place, because there is so much good content out there, and it makes sense to help some of those writers, some of those artists. In the case of Encore, maybe even if they'd be willing, some of those voice actors, just like get people's names out there, get their works out there, let everybody know what is out there, because it is an expansive thing. And I think that some people have a I don't know what the word would specifically be, but like a misgiving towards like fan fiction in particular.
There's a stigma around it because, like, you know, you look at stuff like the Harry Potter community and all of the lovely things that have been spawned from that community, or you look at Undertale, and people look at these fandoms and they see all the negative stuff about it, and they assume that like all the fan fictions are just going to be the same shit.
Right. It's not. There's people out there who are putting their time, their sweat, their love into these works because they want to see it thrive. They want to help continue these well-written stories and put their own twist on them sometimes. So add their own ideas into it and like keep the community going. And it's beautiful to see that, especially when there are people who are actively out there trying to help nurture that.
Right. It's just a bunch of, I mean, even if you look at like the cringy, shitty stuff, ultimately it's still just somebody trying to,
do something.
It might not be your cup of tea.
Yeah.
It might make you feel wigged out, or it might be weird or whatever. Ultimately, they're still trying to do something, and that should at least be worth some credit, even if it's not good, even if it's not like, you know, perfect. Nothing ever is. Nothing's ever perfect.
Absolutely.
Lord knows, I reread my old chapters and I fucking shit my pants when I see a typo.
Yep, that always hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or like, it's just there's. I just wish people would break the stigma more often. Like, it's like reading a book. You know, not everything's gonna be your cup of tea.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And if you don't like one thing, just turn around and give another thing a shot.
All right, and hopefully, like, by helping like do all this, and everybody in the Discord obviously playing their part, you know, helping pump everybody else up and like get them excited for what they're working on, and like giving the old smack on the ass, like, good job out there, Chief, you're doing real good, you're cooking. You know, hopefully like we can help slowly in our own way shape that perception to a more positive one.
Absolutely. And shout out to the Snoot Club Discord, by the way.
Yes.
I'm in it. I don't really interact with it that much, but they have like semi-regular like writers workshops
Mhm.
where some of like the more prevalent like Snoot writers get in there, and I guess they just talk. I've never joined one because I'm a socially inept fool who
Fucking
doesn't
same.
want to like get in like a big group conversation. Yeah, like best day ever in the chat says Starman. He's they're the one that like leads that little operation, I believe. And Starman would be the author of glorious fics such as, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I believe he is the author of Bonds.
According to Best Day, it does look like that is the case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Bonds himself.
I
yes.
haven't participated too much in Snoot Club myself, but it looks like they have a lot of stuff going on there. I know they run the mod jams as well.
Yeah, and I believe there's one happening, another one too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're keyed into the mod scene, look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, also shout out to Starman, obviously. Read Bonds if you haven't already, and read his other fic that he's working on, Kind of Blue. Kind of Blue is fucking, that's another one I want to suggest. Kind of Blue fucking rocks because it's entirely original shit. Still set in the Snoot universe, but it's like completely different time period, new characters. Ooh, he's cooking.
I think that's another interesting thing maybe to touch on real quick. Is that when there is like a really good work of art, be it like some artist or some writer, and you enjoy their works, make sure to check out some of their other stuff that might not be in your hemisphere. Because oftentimes, like, if you have like a good writer, they're writing good stuff in other places too.
Right. In my case, I don't really have anything other than I want to marry that gator. But most of my writing prior to both of those was like frenetic shit that I'm never going to show anybody, and they will sit withering on my hard drive
In the fucking vault.
until they crumble to like space dust.
Yep.
But I sort of cheated when I started writing because, like I previously stated, I have like 12 years of tabletop experience under my belt, both as a GM and a player. So I already was pretty familiar with writing. I didn't have to like take a fucking class on how to write or anything, and English has always been one of my stronger subjects.
That makes sense.
I see a question in chat.
Well, I mean, let's go for
Comical Ken. By the way, Comical Ken cooking his football man.
That has been shared in the Discord.
Ted.
Yep.
Yeah, we love football man, Ted.
We certainly do.
His question is, Jake, how does one handle dialogue? And that's kind of a hard one to like sort of talk about specifically because everybody handles dialogue a little differently. My dialogue format in Punch Drunk doesn't follow like the stereotypical writing format for dialogue. I sort of intentionally space it out, almost like you're playing the game. Like the sentences are spaced out as if you were reading a visual novel, basically. So with dialogue, you just have to. I have a conversation. How I do it here, I'll just tell you how I do it. Is I just have a conversation between the two characters in my head. It's literally as simple as that. I take their personalities, and I put them in like I picture whatever environment they're in, and I just have them talk. And I transfer like I try to transfer the emotions of the conversation to the writing as best as I can. And it's dialogue is hard. It's probably one of the harder things to write. And yeah, especially Comical says, especially in a football fic, I feel like dialogue for me will be mostly call outs and reactionary things. And that's fine. You know, when you write that, dialogue isn't going to be a major focus for you. It's mostly going to be Ted's internal thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
like
Internal dialogue.
Internal dialogue and the things guiding him, his reactions, his like, his observations of the field, where he's going, who he's about to sack, things like that. But throwing little quips out there when he, gets clinched up with somebody, that'll be important because it'll add a little bit of flavor.
Mm-hmm. You can really shape the character that way.
Right. But yeah, dialogue is something. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I think layout wise it can be a little difficult how you want to structure it, because like you don't want to like have it be like, at least in my case, I usually want to try to avoid where it's like dialogue she said, dialogue he said, dialogue she said, dialogue he said, like breaking up that like the repetition and trying to make sure it doesn't feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again, even though the dialogue is obviously different. They're having a conversation, but just like from a I don't know what you would call it, like a writer's perspective on like trying to keep things fresh and interesting to read.
I have a very good question from Artiv, and it's one that's especially important to Punch Drunk. Artiv says, I need to ask something for the writers here as well. How would you start writing about mental issues you have no experience in dealing with? And that is a very, very important question.
Absolutely.
Because mental illness is something that a lot of fics try to explore, and they usually end up romanticizing it. And not to say that that's necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you can get away with it. But when you're writing a character that has a mental illness, what you should do is you should just, like, this is going to sound nerdy as fuck, but like look into research papers about this mental illness. Look into like clinical studies. You unless you have it yourself and you are aware of like what goes through your own brain, you need to study. You have to study. It's as simple as that. You have to like open your brain, do some like you have to study the mental illness. I don't want to talk too in depth about what Dorian has because that would be spoilers, obviously. But he does. I do have a mental illness in my head that he suffers from, and it is it's not one that I have personally dealt with, but I've researched it quite a lot, and I have people who I can turn to as like a source to help me with medications and such. A friend of mine who is a pharmacist who I equate as living Reed because he knows an inordinate amount about medical like medicines. It's fucking insane. He has an absolute cyclopedic knowledge of medicine. So
Right.
I turn to him whenever I need help with that.
Yeah, that's I believe that's the best way to handle this type of thing. 'Cause you need to understand what you're trying to write in the first place. Don't just make assumptions based off of what you might like think you know. It's better to get concrete stuff, and you don't even have to necessarily go lean purely into the academic side. People talk about their struggles all the time online. You can find people who are discussing what they're living through and what they're going through, the difficulties it presents, and you can draw upon those in your writing.
Absolutely. And like SWATcast22 just said, like I'd like to say, even if you do have the mental illness, everybody, all of these like afflictions affect people differently.
Mm-hmm.
No two-person is going to suffer the exact same thing as somebody else. So that's another thing to take into fact. Like when you write a character, do you want them to just be like a carbon copy of like your own mental illness, or do you want them to suffer differently? I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, explore it through a different lens.
Right. And I have my own mental illnesses. I take medicines for stuff, but uh, it's something that's a little challenging to write about because you have to be careful because otherwise, if you take it for granted, if you just look at it in a surface level, you do everybody suffering from that mental illness an injustice by just like taking it at surface level and like writing it in a way that makes it's hard to say. It makes it you know?
Yeah. You really don't want to misrepresent these types of things because
Right.
it doesn't, nobody feels good about it at the end of the day.
Right. It's an ugly thing. It's an ugly thing. Honestly, it's an ugly thing. But it's an ugly thing that should be represented as best as you can because it's real life. People go through shit, and it deserves to be treated with respect. That's simple as.
Simple as. Yeah, so obviously if people have questions at this point, we're answering from chat.
Right.
that wasn't readily obvious. So
I'll go down to the next question that was after our
Mhm.
from Reed. Do you do the whole living character thing when you do scenes? Like how would Dorian do in your day-to-day situation? No, I wouldn't say that. My life is so completely different from Dorian's that I couldn't even contemplate how he would do in my own life.
it's just like layers removed.
Right. Like Dorian, that's why I didn't want to make a self-insert. Dorian is so unlike me that it could not even anywhere be remotely considered a self-insert. Like I don't have a big ass scar across my face. I don't wear black tank tops and black cargo pants and big fucking steel-toed boots and go around and kick the shit out of people.
Everything I know about you is a lie.
No. I just kill people with shovels instead. But anyway,
real.
that's not admissible in court.
I always gotta add that. I usually opt for the in Minecraft, but you know.
Nah. But Reed, I wouldn't really say I do that. It's just sort of I get in the mind of the character and I write their day to day for them because they are my little fucking dolls and I do as I please with them.
You will make them dance as you see fit.
Yes, their faces are mine to mold. Next question from Cars. I also have a question for Jake, or even for some of the lovely people in chat. How do you avoid using the same environment or character description like when you describe a scene? And that's simple. You just don't. You just need to describe a character or a scene once. And then if your reader has has enough fucking cognizance to remember what the hell the scene is, they're not going to need a constant reminder of what characters or scenes look like. The only time you should ever redescribe a character is if they're wearing something new, or to redescribing a room that they've already been in is if something has changed about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's a room they've been in a million times, then your reader's going to know what that room looks like. You don't need to describe it again for the 20 millionth time. And if it's a character they've seen 8 times in a row, they're probably going to be wearing the same stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like, it isn't exactly the question that was asked, my response at least. But if you're having trouble with, like, something being repetitious and, like, you're using the same thing over and over again, just let it ride. Like, catch it on another run through. Your first draft doesn't have to be perfect. You just got to look at it and see, okay, where am I using these multiple instances of things? Okay, how can I change this? Could I take this out? Does it make sense if I take it out? Okay, we can remove it there. Okay, no, it's critical to have here. Okay, well, how can I rephrase this to sound different? Because at the end of the day, that's what you essentially are wanting to do. You want it to sound different. You don't want your reader to immediately, like, go, oh, wait, I heard this, like, a minute ago. This was the exact same thing, right?
This is why proofreading exists. I proofread my own shit mostly. I have a couple of people that I like send things to, and I'm like, hey, does this read good? I need a second opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But more often than not, once I'm done writing, I just sit like in my dark room with my lights turned off, staring at my screen with bloodshot eyes, just like reading through the chapter one more time to make sure I got everything right.
Whispering under your breath, nice, when you hit the end.
Yeah, and then I'd say, wait a second, what was that? And then I scroll all the way back up and do it again. And then, let's see, any other questions in chat right now? Six the Demon. Hey, I was wondering what's your favorite chapter? Is that asking me what my favorite chapter of Punch Drunk is currently?
I would be under the assumption that it would be under your favorite chapter. Regardless if that's the question or not, feel free to go ahead and answer that.
Well, that would be the first Bloody Knuckled Interlude, which is chapter 3, because it finally, it lets you know what the fuck's up with Dorian.
Mhm.
And finally, like, because at first, you know, he just seems like a dickhead.
It's the first real show of character.
It's it's when Dorian's character comes out in force. It's you know, he puts the ass whooping on,
Mhm.
and that shows you, oh shit, he ain't no Inko. He's not just Inko, but a dickhead. Nah, Dorian can throw hands.
He got them fist on him, bro.
Yeah, he got them fists and them boots. He's got steel toes in those boots, and he uses them. Yeah, let's see. All right, Anand says, I'm trying to write a book, amateur writer and all that, trying to include a character in a wheelchair, mostly writing them as the wheelchair being a secondary thing. Is this the right track? Humo, you help me out a little here with that. I'm having a little trouble comprehending that.
Yeah, I would say it depends. What's the story you're trying to tell? I mean, is the wheelchair a big character point for them, or is it just something that they live with and that's that, you know? Like,
Yeah,
obviously
I mean,
it's going to affect their day-to-day, but is that the focal point? Is them being crippled and in the wheelchair what you're trying to write about? If not, then it's fine for that to be a secondary thing.
is it a new thing they're adjusting to, or have they lived with it their whole life?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they lived with it their whole life, it may as well just be their legs. Like, they're going to be used to it. It's not going to be, they're not going to look down and go, huh, it's my wheelchair again.
Right.
No, it's just, hey, I move around in this. This is my life. I'm
Yeah.
used to it.
Another thing
You
to
know?
take into consideration too is if this character is a secondary character and they're not your your protagonist, your main character who the story might be being told through the eyes of, what's their perspective on people who have a disability? Are they somebody who would focus in on that? Because if so, then that's going to, from the perspective of the character, be something that you zero in on, something that you talk more about, something that you are going to be more descriptive about. Or do they look past it?
If they're a protagonist, then that's then you should decide whether or not they're used to the wheelchair. But if it's somebody else looking at somebody with a wheelchair, it's what Humo said. You have to, like, how's that character gonna, like, you're just gonna stare like a fucking idiot and be like, oh, that's a wheelchair.
Oh no. Push downstairs.
Haha, go clatter. Anyway,
Oh, boy.
let's see. SWATcast22 says, so Jake and others, how do you avoid being too over-descriptive without losing details? That's a good one. I have a problem with being under-descriptive in my fic, actually, because I just assume everybody's read the shit, like, played Wani already. So, like, when a character shows up, they're like, oh, yeah, I know what they look like. But, let's see. How am I gonna, let me use the old noggin for a minute here.
Mm-hmm. While you cook, I can give my perspective on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like if you're struggling with writing, like in many things, taking an iterative approach helps. Start with what you feel is the bare minimum. Then look at that. Is that enough? Does it flow with the story? Does it make sense? If not, add a little bit more. It's one of the things that you have to make that judgment call on it, and the best way to do that is give yourself multiple renditions of it. That way you can compare and contrast. What does this one do better that this one isn't? What can I take from this one that maybe I can use in another one?
Yeah. And when it comes to describing characters, like what they're wearing, what they look like, you don't have to, like, describe them down to, like, the threads of their jeans or whatever the fuck they're wearing. Like, you could just say, you can even just give them a vague style of dress. Like, oh, you know, they dress like a punk rocker, or they dress like a jock, and then you can let the reader have their own fun imagining what that looks like. The bare minimum, you need to describe, like, what they look like in the face, like whether or not they have, like, hawkish features, or, like, their features are more rounded, or, like, if their chin is, like, chiseled, or, like, what color their hair is, what color their eyes. And that's about as much as you need. You don't need to, like, describe every, like, article of clothing they're wearing, what brand it is, how much it costs, like, whether or not they got it from a thrift shop. You know, you don't need to get that in depth with it, except if it's, like, for like a really important character, like your protagonist. Go ham. Like, describe your protagonist down to the fucking cells in their body. Who cares? It's your protagonist. People want to know who they are, and that's how that works.
Yeah, there's a funny thing where like the if you give a little bit of creativity to the readers as well, they can have some fun with that. As long as they can picture the fucking apple.
Yeah. Now we've got a question from JakeParade 2012. Hey Jake, would you punch Ben from Wani? No, I'd give him his pills and a cup of hot chalky and sit him down and say, "It'll be okay, bubby." And then I'd punch him in the face.
I kind of want to push him into a locker, but like a locker with his pills.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Let's avoid the pill topic before it becomes.
It was one fucking statement. You can't come at me like that.
I will.
You
I will,
motherfucker.
bitch.
You motherfucker.
Let people know. You know. If you know, you know. Anyway, fuck it. All right. Ultimate Lifeform card. So I've actually got a very important question for Jake. Cast iron or stainless steel pan? It depends on the situation.
Are these the only two options? Or like, dude.
No, bro. I bust out a fucking wok when I need to.
Oh shit. Have you cooked with a wok before? I haven't.
Once, and it ended poorly.
That seems like one of those things you gotta have a little bit higher of a cooking skill before you fucking throw down on the fire dome with
I
that.
also tried to do it. I didn't try to do it on like a fire stove. It was with an induction stove, and that was my first mistake.
Ayah.
Like a fire, indeed.
Oh boy. I
Yeah.
do have a question from Vase here on the Twitch side.
Ooh, hit me with it.
Hey Jake, how much time/days do you dedicate to writing? Do you set aside a point in time on certain days, or is it a matter of when the inspiration hits and you go off?
Man, I just go when I go. If I have free time and I'm in front of my computer and I'm like, me want to write, and I just open up AOE3, go to the edit page, and I'm like, here we go.
Yeah, I think one thing we've kind of cemented here through these discussions is that you are a more free flowing. Whenever it hits, you're gonna let it ride, but until then, it is what it is.
Fuck it, we ball.
Yep, fuck it, we ball.
That's the name of the game. I've got one from Cocainer here. Jake, how do you feel with those moments when you get so focused on something you can't make any progress? Like when I get distracted from writing, or like when I'm so hyper laser focused on one specific part of my writing that I can't do anything else? Because I don't know. That's never happened to me. I've never gotten so focused on my writing that I've like not been able to write. Like if you mean like laser focused on like a plot point in the story that you like want to get to, but you can't like
Almost like tunnel vision.
Yeah, like you don't know how to get to it. Then you gotta take a step back. You gotta take a step back, take a breather, and then realize, because there are moments in like Punch Drunk that I'm like aching to get to. Like I have those moments in my mind where I'm like, oh fuck, I can't wait to write this. But like I'm not stopping myself and just like hyper like, okay, here's another thing. If you want to write a part for your story like really, really fucking bad, don't be afraid to just like skip forward and write that part and then go back and write the rest later.
Mm-hmm.
Just
You're allowed
get
to
it
do
out of
that.
your head. Get it out of your head, get it on the page, and then just like go. That's it. You just gotta go. You just gotta get it out and go.
It's genuinely that simple, isn't it?
Yeah, just slurp it out onto the page, spit it out.
Now, what I will say is if you're having an issue where you're so locked in, you don't know how to even get to that location, all you're thinking about is that destination, just slowly try and breadcrumb yourself. Figure out like what sort of domino pieces need to be in effect before, because I'm assuming that it would be a critical event, right? Something that is a culmination, because that's usually, at least for me, those are the moments that my brain immediately fucking latches onto and wants to write. But you need to think, how did the bus get here in the first place? And just start dropping markers. You don't even need to fully flesh them out yet. Just start pinning them down on the list until you start to reach maybe somewhere where you are currently. And then you can start working your way back up.
Yeah. That's a pretty solid way to describe that. So I hope that helps you figure out how to cook, to get back in that kitchen. All right, we got another one from Reed. Last question from me, but is there any interest for you to write your own non-fanfic story? Maybe. Big maybe. I have a lot of stuff I want to do with the Snoot game stuff first, but I've never really considered writing as a career. I don't think, but you never know where life takes you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
And that's one of the things I'd mentioned earlier. Like when people decide they do want to move out of like just like writing for a specific type of fandom or something. Hopefully, if you do end up writing that, most of us will follow you along with that. Because from what I've heard, you are a very good writer, and from what I've heard here, you sound like you know your shit. You know.
Oh, stop! I'm just a fella.
Oh, I'll just little fellas here.
I'm just a fella. Anyway, let's see. The SWATcast 22 again. So when looking at a setting, how do you choose when and where, or where and where? When I'm just gonna assume that's when and where.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, like, who are your characters? Like, where would they be? Are they just like walking in the street talking, or are they at a location? Are they at like a cafe? Are they at school? Are they at home, like banging or whatever? I don't know. What are your characters and what are they doing and who are they doing it with?
Yeah.
Right.
Focusing on
As
the
simple as that.
characters is a good way to do it. Think about like what types of interactions you want to have between the characters. If you want characters to have some sort of tension, what kind of places can you put them in that would result in that? If they're a romantic partner, maybe you have it where they're on a date at like some place that they normally go to, and I don't know, one of them gets some news, or one of them just is having a really bad day and they go off, you know.
Or one of them's horny.
Or one of them's horny and they decide they want to go home and do the fug with 2 G's.
Yeah.
Like I feel like setting can often play a back seat to what the character interactions you need to do are. Use the character interactions as a way to guide where they go. You can also do the inverse, where you decide you want to use a specific setting and then figure out how your characters are going to play along with that. You have to figure out what part of the story you want to be the significant point there, and then help everything else build around that.
Mm-hmm. Good shit. Couldn't have said it any better than me, I think.
We got a
I don't know what the fuck I just said.
Dude, I got what you were trying to say. Look, I've had to read through chat so many times, I can kind of get the general meaning of what somebody's trying to do. But we do have a message from James14 Cypher on Twitch. Hey Jake, how did you decide the direction of certain character interactions to keep them unique from original Wani, but still made sure they ultimately made sense?
I just took Dorian's personality in mind. He's such a different character from Inko. It's really not that hard to picture in his mind how a certain fucking situation would go. Like he's blunt. He doesn't hold his words back. He says what he thinks, and that obviously changes some of like the more tense conversations, I guess. Like when he initially meets Olivia, some of those interactions are different. He catches her off guard more often with his bluntness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stuff like that. It comes down to the character.
Right. Yeah. With character interactions, when you're inserting a new character into a situation, the good thing with like Wani and Snoot is you have a lot of, at least for the primary characters, you have a lot of inspiration to draw off of how their character would react in certain situations. You get an idea of what the character is, what they do, how they might react in other different types of situations. So when you're inserting like a new rogue agent into it, you kind of already have an idea in your head. Okay, I think the character would react this way, right? And obviously, you're gonna have to take some liberties because at the end of the day, you're not the writer for the original story. So all you can hope to do is keep it in line with what the character would react with.
Right. And I don't want to toot my own horn. These are not my words.
Toot
These are
your horn.
somebody else's. No, I shan't. But when I was writing I Want to Marry That Gator, obviously it was post D4. There was no other content for me to work off of. Somebody told me that I have very much captured the spirit of Wani in my writing. So, yeah.
Let's fucking go.
I think I know how to do that a little bit.
He's kind of a pro.
I think I can get the characters' voices out there favorably in a way that makes them, there. Anyway, let's look at another question in chat. Let's see. This is a bit of a jokey joke question, but it's from Anon. Jake, at any point in Punch Drunk, does someone say something along the lines of first rule about Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club? No, I've never seen that movie.
You know, I've never seen it either. Here's the thing. I've been called out many times because I have not seen a lot of movies. I'm not a huge movie guy.
Brother, we are together.
Fucking
You and me.
Hell yeah, man. Like, fucking Lasseter wants to rip me into a call so I can watch Back to the Future. I'm like, okay, dude. Sure.
I just don't care. I don't care.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I understand that it's probably like a cinematic masterpiece or some shit, right? It's just one of those things that, like, I don't know. I've got other things that I could go do, you know?
Yeah, brother, I don't got time to sit around and fucking like for like an hour or 2 hours and watch some like fucking dudes yap on a screen about how big their dicks are or whatever. I don't care.
I gotta go read Gator Fix, bro.
I gotta write Gator Fix, bro. All right, let's see. Six the Demon. Hey, Jack, what's that one chapter that you feel like you could have done bitter? Fuck me, dude. The entire like first 5 chapters, so much, man. I don't like. I could just sit here and like fucking jerk myself off about how shitty the first 5 chapters are for the next hour because I don't like them. But yeah, there's a lot I would go back and change. I would go and slap me on April 17th in the face.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you ask any fucking artistic, they'll have at least like a handful of things they can say. Yeah, no, all this fucking blows dick, and then everybody else is like, huh? But I like that.
Sorry, it does blow dick, and you can't convince me any fucking else. Sorry.
It sucks, dick.
Oopsies.
Anyway, let's see. SWAT Cats 22. When you have a time jump, how long do you do the time jump, and how many details important and not like minor do you give from that time jump, if any at all? If you're doing a time jump, I wouldn't put any important stuff in there. If you're gonna do a time jump until the next important thing happens, and then do a thing focused around that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just say, "Oh hey, yeah, they got married in the time skip," huh? What? What do you mean?
Yeah, you can also
What do you
do
mean they
like
got married in the time skip?
show don't tell, right? Like, you don't have to explicitly write everything out. People can pick up on things that are happening usually.
Yeah. Show don't tell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff you could do with time skips. I mean, you could just not have a time skip. Write every day out by itself.
Yeah.
Detail to detail. Don't do that. You'll kill yourself.
Yeah. Just do it. Just fucking write. Do what Jake did. 100,000 words in a couple, like, fucking, what, 2 weeks was it?
Get it down to 100,000 words a day, coward.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
No, don't do that. Don't, please. It will hurt you.
I mean, one thing that, like, obviously, this really doesn't need to be said, but you do need time skips at certain points if you want to have, like, long-lasting relationships develop. Because, like, I don't know about you, I don't think I've ever made, like, a close friend over the course of, like, a week. I've gotten close with people over a week, but, like, you know, it's more of just like, oh, we're still chummy and everything. We don't have history. You know?
Yeah, man. Like, it's one thing to get close with somebody. It's one thing to have memories with somebody.
Exactly.
Like, you could make a best friend the next day, and they might be like your fucking main homie right now, and like you would do anything for that motherfucker. But you just met them yesterday. You don't have like grand memories about them. And I mean, and the same goes for like in a relationship. You know, you have the love at first sight shit. And obviously, like in Punch Drunk and Wani, the relationship goes by like, whoa, damn,
breakneck.
Go quick. Which there's nothing wrong with that. That happens in real life,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But sometimes you're like a slow burn. And sometimes, more often than not, it is a slow burn. 2 people, they don't just immediately like hook up and then just like suck face. You know, that's not how the world works. Well, for most people, sometimes that do be happening. Some people do get quirky at 12 p.m. on a night. 12 p.m. Some people do be getting quirky at 12 p.m.
True.
But I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? Sorry, I just started thinking about snogging.
Oh, it's all good. We were talking about like how rapidly or how like slow burns versus like rapid relationships.
Right. Obviously, Punch Drunk is following the El Rapido method because I just couldn't. Like, I'm saving the slow burn for Between the Lines and Waves.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the slow burn because those. Yeah.
That makes sense. And like the biggest thing to keep in mind when you're considering like which route you want to take with that is think about your characters. You know your characters better. If they're OCs, you're gonna know your characters better than anyone else. You're gonna have a good idea of, is this would my character be the type of person who'd be able to like this quickly fall in love, or is it something that it's gonna take some time? I'm not gonna be able to just like immediately be all in on this.
Right. Right. Character personality is a very big thing when it comes to that. Because if your dude's just like a freak who fucks every night, there's gonna be like some different shit that happens there.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. We've sort of we're falling behind on the chat questions.
Yeah, welcome to my fucking life.
Let's see. Oh, another one from Ken. Oh wait, I have another question. How long do you try to keep your chapters word-wise? Wait, does that even matter? Why am I asking this? Like, how long do you have a finished chapter thawing out? Well, brother, you should not be asking me that because I tend to write like 10,000 word chapters, which is bad. It's not bad, but like it's definitely not industry standard. Most good length chapters are like 5,000 to 6,000 words. You don't have to push any higher than that if you don't want to.
Yeah. I would say don't constrain yourself to like something like word count.
Yeah.
You can use it as maybe a benchmark, but whatever you're trying to tell that in the chapter, you know? If it ends up being a shorter chapter, that's fine. If it ends up being a longer chapter, that's also fine. The idea about using chapters is you want to have a nice start and an end to something. Like, essentially where someone could pick something up and then put it back down if they needed to go do something, right?
Right. And 5,000 to 6,000 is like a good benchmark for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it shouldn't be your end goal, but it should be like your minimum.
Yeah, it'll give you an idea of how long something takes to get through too.
If you get to 5,000 or 6,000 and you're like, okay, this is good, and you can just, that's good. You can stop there.
Yep.
But if you're like, I have a couple more stuff I want to do, just do it. Go until you're done with it. Yeah, I have 10,000 word chapters, Ken. Some of my chapters are really fucking long. I didn't reach that 150K word count by just you know.
Yeah, I think Ken also elaborated a bit more on that question too. My main concern is going off on details for too long and boring the masses. Is it worth it to be detailed or not?
It entirely depends on the situation. Like, some things warrant details, others don't. You just have to pay attention to the scene you're writing. And like, when Ted's on the gridiron, are you gonna fucking describe every blade of grass that he's running on? Are you gonna describe how his cleats are digging into the dirt with every step he takes? No, don't do that. Not everybody wants to read Ted's heels grind into the dirt for the 30th time.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't do that.
And I mean, like, the thing is too. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say the thing is too. Read your own stuff, right? Like, that'll give you a good idea if something's going to be good or not. If you're sitting there and you're getting bored, chances are someone else is going to get bored too. And it doesn't hurt to have someone else take a look at your stuff. You can always like get somebody else's opinion. Just be like, hey, could you take a quick look at this and give me an idea of like what you're kind of thinking when you read this? Because, you know, at the end of the day, if you're putting your work out there, people are going to read it anyways. Might as well get maybe like a set of eyes on it before then, so maybe you catch something that or maybe they catch something that you didn't. Proofreading, right?
Yes, proofreading. And that actually leads me into another thing, not the proofreading bit, but what you said before that is your primary thought when you are writing is that you should be writing for yourself, ultimately. Like, it's cool if you want to like have like fans and like, you know, make people happy or make them cry or whatever with your work. But when you write, it should be for you.
Absolutely.
You should enjoy your story. You should want to read your story. It should make you happy. And ultimately, if it does, it will make other people happy. Because the people out there will share your tastes.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing to keep in mind too is like don't write for other people, because you're setting yourself up for some harder times that way, because there's always going to be people who are going to detract from what you write. They're going to be it like they just don't jive with it, or they are actively trying to be malicious. If you write for other people, it's going to do a number on you, I feel.
unless you like do writing commissions as like a habit or like income or whatever.
Well, you're
Write
getting
for
paid
yourself.
at least.
Yeah, then at that point though, it's not a fucking hobby anymore. It's a job, which
Yeah.
will always suck the soul right out of your cock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Next question. Any questions from Twitch chat lingering around? I only got YouTube pulled up.
No, we're good on Twitch right now.
Okay, let's see. The Iggy says, Jake, to make sure, when writing your story, do you have a first draft typed out on a Word doc, or do you just start typing out new chapters on AoE 3? I used to do Word doc stuff, and then I stopped caring, and now I just write them on AoE 3 because I'm a fucking freak, which is partially why the happened when the power outage, because I was like, I had forgotten to fucking hit save as draft, and then I was like, I'm gonna leave it here for right now. And then I like went and laid in bed, and then the power went out. And then I was like, I snapped up like that one Ren and Stimpy gif of that dude when the power went out. And I was just like,
Zeus said no Dorian tonight. Fucking.
it was tragic. But now every time I'm not writing on like the edit page, I just hit save as draft like a fucking schizophrenic.
It takes once, right? And then you fucking learn.
Yeah, buddy, it takes once.
We do have one from Twitch now. Vase,
Okay.
Hey Jake, how are you so based?
Oh, man, I'm just built different. All my mental traumas have molded me into a fucked up little man,
Little cretin.
little cretin who does stupid things that people like for some reason.
That's what it's like being a streamer, man.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody that ever says anything nice to me, because I'm never gonna say nice things to myself.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person who like if I'm ever gonna like, the most I give myself is, hey, that was average.
You didn't fuck up this time, buddy. Good job.
Nice. You didn't fucking trip on the finish line. Good job, dumbass.
Yeah. Let's see. Any other questions? Let's see. I just want to highlight this one from Reed. Time skip and drunk punch. What? Time skip and punch drunk. Olivia's milkers got bigger. Thank you. Thank you for that one.
God damn.
And Artiv right below that. Unsend that message. You're not allowed to talk shit, Artiv. Be quiet. Let's see.
Gotta love Artiv.
Question. How do you write something that the reader knows something bad is going to happen, and yet they want something to change the path leading up to said bad thing? I assume this in particular has to do with, I'm just throwing out a curveball here, but the Yatican passing. And all I'm going to say is, if you want to figure out how I deal with that, go read Punch Drunk, because it's different. It's different.
I mean,
it's way different.
Yeah, like like Jake's saying, go check out how he did it. Obviously, that's gonna give you the best idea of it.
I can't get too in depth with it right now, because that's spoilers.
Yeah,
Big time.
I would assume it's pretty big spoilers.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if I want to throw my hat in the ring there, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. At the end of the day, it's gonna show up. Like, if people are sitting there and they're going, uh-oh, and they're looking for the exits in the room, just make sure that the exits are locked. Don't pull your punch. Hit them with the emergency.
Yeah. Oh, also, I just accidentally realized I skipped a question to read that one. From Aaron Davidson, do you ever feel like you wrote too much too quickly? And do you feel like that if you spent more time on writing, you might actually like the first chapters?
Yeah. We're a little too late for that, aren't we?
We're how many chapters in?
22, buddy.
Oh boy.
We're in deep. I'm not going back and rewriting all that shit now. Fuck all that.
Just face forward, keep walking.
I live with my mistakes. All right. Let's see. Question, Jake. Who would you say is your least favorite character in Snoot, writing wise, and how would you improve them? Man, I can't answer that. They're not my characters. I don't. When I write a character from something that's like a pre-existing thing, I don't want to change them. I want to write them with who they are and all their flaws, because that's what makes them the character they are. It doesn't feel right to me to just like rewrite their personality like that. It's different if it's like original character, because that's my character. I could do whatever the fuck I want with him. That's why Dorian gets shot and fucking dies in Punch Drunk E1. Fuck you.
Owie.
I'll kill him. I'll kill my characters if I want. I don't have any compunctions about it.
Dude, creators
Shot
love
and-
killing their characters. I've noticed.
Shot and bleeding to death in an alleyway like a dog. Anyway,
You just really went off on that one, didn't you, bud?
yeah, E1 make me funny.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of people funny, huh?
Yeah. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Not really a pertinent question to the like writer conversation, but Reed asked if you're gonna mod me and Blue Leaf on YouTube.
You know what? I probably should mod somebody on YouTube. Thing is, though, we don't get fucking bots on YouTube. We get bots on Twitch.
I don't know. I'd like to slap Artiv around a little bit in stream chat if I need to.
It would be kind of funny at the end of the day. We do have some stuff on Twitch actually here.
Hit me with them.
Hey Jake, how different are you built from the standard pattern Jake I found at Walmart?
How obese was the standard pattern Jake you found at Walmart? Because I'm not that obese.
Okay.
I'm a little big, but I'm not like big huge.
We got a little bit of a slim down model compared to the obesity
Yeah.
one at the Walmart.
I go walks. Me take walks.
Me need take more walks. I don't, dude. Oh boy. For the past couple weeks, I have not been going to the gym, man. I don't know if it's like brain fog, if it's just like general disinterest, but like, holy shit. Today though, I did go back to the gym, so I'm trying to get back on the fucking horse. But like fucking, oh man, cardio is my least favorite thing to do.
Oh, I fucking hate cardio.
I just want to push big fucking weight. that makes brain happy.
Too, me too, man.
Me get under the barbell and go ooga ooga.
I stare at a treadmill and my leg go jelly already. I don't like it. I hate cardio.
The most I can muster is like 10 minutes on the fucking treadmill, alternating between just walking and like sprinting.
You're getting a walking pace for me, and that's fuck you. That's it.
Dude, I don't even blame you. Sometimes I just sit there and I'm like, I don't want to fucking run. I don't fuck it.
I don't even lift anymore. I really should. I have a fucking gym in my apartment complex. I just don't fucking use it.
Yeah, there's a gym in my apartment complex. I've got fucking dumbbells that go up to 70 under my fucking bed.
All right.
Just
enough
so easy.
Enough complaining about our laziness.
Yeah, we got another one though from Vase as well.
Okay.
Hey Jake, you talked about the music in the Punch Drunk chapters. You got an inspiration playlist for when you're writing? Asking for a friend.
Nah, dog. I just fucking I scrounge. I don't do playlists. I just scrounge for music like a rat.
You ever just let it like on YouTube or something, let it ride on like just play next?
Autoplay is off at all times. I cannot fucking stand autoplay.
Really?
Because I put songs on loop because I'm a freak like that.
That
I
you
listen
know,
to songs
fair.
until I get absolutely sick of them.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Any more from Twitch?
No, that's about it.
Okay, got another one from Ken here. Real talk. How do you kill a character that you and your audience likes? Like, how do you go about that? Do you start with foreshadowing, or do you just body the motherfucker? I imagine it depends on the character, and you're right about that. Like, is your character sick and dying? Because that's already foreshadowing. The fact that they're sick and dying is foreshadowing in of itself. But if it's like a character, I mean, just get them, dude. Get them.
Yeah, sometimes
Kill
death happens abruptly.
Get them. Like, you're on a roller coaster with your girlfriend. Oops, sorry, machine failure. You tumble out, your head gets cut off. Sorry.
I fucking hate that shit.
You're walking down the street with your girlfriend. Oops, sorry, mugger comes up, stabs you in the liver. Get isekai'd, idiot. Sometimes you just gotta fucking like shoot them in the head. Pull a gun out and shoot them in the head, like in front of everybody.
Just get the old. Where's my gun? Oh, it's over there.
Oh, no.
Would have been good for a click clack, but I'm just.
It would have been good bit, but no.
Ugh.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Here's one from Lanny. Hey Jake, are you related to Jake from State Farm? Do you engage in regular hand-to insurance combat with him? Bring that motherfucker in here right now. Bring him in here.
Okay.
What the fuck's the matter with you, huh?
I just had a question.
Fuck you.
No.
You think you're clever?
Yeah.
You're not. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
All right.
That little fucker.
Dude,
Let me tell you a little Jake story. You want some Jake lore?
Oh, I love Jake lore.
People used to call me Jake from State Farm all the fucking time in high school, and it's one of the, I hate it.
Oh, so that was
I-
just a fucking trigger there. Lanny stepped on the landmine unknowingly.
I will fucking hurt him. Swear to God.
You know, here's the worst part. You know he's gonna hear that and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Jake. I didn't mean to." And he's gonna be a little. He's gonna be so sad.
I hope he's in there shitting
He's
himself
gonna
and
be
crying.
crying.
Fuck him. He made me mad.
Oh shit. Oh boy.
All right. All right. Hold on. Let me
Refocus. Recenter.
Let me get the seed out of my brain. Let's see. I don't think. Jake, how is Mr. Streamer doing with the first creator spotlight? And has he promised to release your family? Humo knows better than to fuck with my family.
I just sit over here and twiddle my thumbs until somebody walks in.
If anything, I'm holding him hostage right now.
Bro, hostage? I'm just chilling.
Cradle, shovel in arms.
Is this that Stockholm syndrome they talk about?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Whoa, hey! Don't be saying it like that, young man.
What the fuck?
You can't say nice like that.
Nice.
Oh my. Anyway, fuck. What are we doing? Clear the brain. Brain rot. Go away.
We had Lanny with his question, then we had Best Day afterwards. Do you have any fix in the works? Can we have a sneak peek if you do? Is that at me or is that at Jake?
I don't know. I figured it would be you because I've already laid all my cards.
That's what I'm wondering because like I have ideas, but my
apparently it was for me. No, I've already laid all my cards out on the table. Best Day. You've already seen all my shit. I got things I'm working on. I got things I'm cooking. And we've got Punch Drunk, we've got Graveyard Shift, and we've got Between the Lines and Waves. That's it. That's all I'm cooking. Oh, Comical Ken has one more question, apparently. Tell me, my son. I'm waiting patiently.
There's one thing I want to touch on just real quick from Haven. Is it bad that my mom keeps pressuring me to get to the gym while saying I got fat? It's a real motivation killer.
Bro, just do it if you want to do it.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like when it comes to doing like gym stuff or any kind of exercise, it kind of like what we said with the writing. It should be for you, not for somebody else. Because that's how you're gonna get the most out of it.
Exactly. If you don't want to do it, then don't force yourself to do it, because otherwise you're just gonna want to kill yourself the whole time.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking hell. Another thing to keep in mind too is like you can find things that like will help you exercise, but aren't just going to the gym. You know, like find something you enjoy doing that's physically active, and like it makes that whole fucking thing way easier.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to add to that. Just yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. Reed says, he was asking you a question, actually. Humo Streaming Corner. When are you going to get Jake to write a Susie fic for you? I don't know. Do you want me to?
I don't know. Do you want to? Like, fucking...
I don't really care.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know what the fuck it would be about. You just want me to write a fuck scene?
No.
Okay, then I won't.
Yeah, man, I feel like... Look, I really like Susie, but like, man, I feel like everybody's like jumping on me about it. Like,
why?
I don't know. Susie's great. Like, but
you just like Urple Girl.
I just like Urple Girl. Yeah.
That's all you got to do is like Urple Girl. She's just Urple Girl.
Yeah. To be fair, I wasn't even the one who requested the Susie emotes in the fucking Discord. That was just something that Blue did.
Yeah.
Do I like it? Yeah.
We just like Urple Girl. There's no onus to like highlight the Purple Girl. She's just here.
Yeah. Just a well-written character.
Sliquidator, it's Susie from Delted Runes.
Delted Rune. God, I can't wait till fucking chapter 3.
Me too. Cocainer says, Jake, how do you deal with self-doubt? Fucking, I stare in the mirror long and hard and look at the bags under my eyes from the 3 hours of sleep that I get every night because I'm a chronic insomniac. And I say, fuck you, buddy. I don't like you. That's it.
So you just like fight yourself?
Yeah.
I mean,
My
that
entire
works.
life is driven entirely by self-spite.
I think people have constantly said that spite is a powerful motivator.
Oh, it is the best motivator. Let's see. Let's see. So when you're writing a character and having them go through a traumatic situation, how do you look at their personality and how do they deal with the situation? Well, that depends. Have they ever been through a traumatic situation before? Do they have any previous triggers, I guess? Because if they do, then obviously they might take it harder, they might take it better, but if it's their first time going through a traumatic situation, then they're probably just going to be shocked, like at first, before the reality of whatever happens hits. That's all it is just shock.
And I think about traumatic situations, that's a very big umbrella term. Like,
Yeah.
there can be different types of what somebody would consider a traumatic
Like,
situation.
Did somebody like get hit by a bus in front of you, or did like you just get your hand cut off? Did a loved one just die? Like, what happened? You know.
Yep.
That question has a lot of nuance to it that can't just be answered simply.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's something you gotta figure out on your own. I think for the most part, depending on the character.
Mm-hmm. Again, you can always use research, right? Look at how other
Okay.
people have handled situations like that and kind of draw upon that.
There's a myriad of fucking beautiful food out there to consume,
Yummy,
whether
yummy.
it be like artist to artist like blog posts about writing, or like just reading shit for you and taking examples.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff you can work with in regards to that stuff. We got another question from Best Day. Jake, will you bring more violence to your fix? Will you reference the shovel like Excalibur? I've thought about it, but I honestly don't know where the fuck I would shoehorn a shovel in. I don't like doing self-inserts unless it's like a joke. Like, the most I would do is put myself as like some seedy fucking like dickhead in Little Trudon or something, as like a street vendor selling dubious books or something.
Make Jake the graveyard keeper.
That would be funny, probably.
It's an easy way to use the shovel, right?
Yeah, I guess so, but mortician is the career choice I've considered, so that's not that far out of the possibility. But let's see.
There was a question from Ken. I don't know if we touched on this, and my brain just blotted it out. How do you mix flashbacks with present day scenes? That's how I'm starting up my fic.
Ooh, I did see that, and I fucking forgot about it completely. You could do that in a couple of different ways. For one, you could just say, oh Jesus, if you're writing it from the first person, like I'm sitting in my room right now. Sorry, I'm kind of feeling burped right now.
Oh, good, man.
Directly into the mic.
I'm just glad that my fucking IBS hasn't flared up randomly.
Brother. Anyway, you just gotta, I mean, like, really just go into the flashback. Unless he's like talking to somebody. Is he telling somebody while he's having his flashbacks? Is he like telling somebody a story? Because if he's just sitting alone in his room contemplating his life, you don't really gotta tell everybody that he's doing that. Just write like an initial scene of him staring himself at the mirror or whatever, and then his thoughts start swirling back to previous memories, and then you can do a ... and then kick it up into the memory as if it were present day. That's as simple as that. It doesn't got to be a big rigmarole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how that do.
Yeah, I think one thing to just keep in mind is like things don't have to be super complicated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get in your own head.
Yeah, just just do it. Sometimes you just do it.
Yeah, just like Shia LaBeouf said or whatever.
Yeah. Ultimately, a lot of things come down to just do it. Some things just don't have as much nuance behind them as others, and sometimes you just need to figure that out.
Yep, it's one of the things you just feel out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, hey, you know how we were talking about like, man, I hope this goes well, brother.
Yeah,
We are at 2 hours.
I'm aware, dude. Time flies when you're having fun, huh?
Yeah, it sure as shit does, doesn't it? Man. For having no fucking idea how this stream was going to go, this went very pleasantly well.
Yeah, I had a good time. I don't know, are we done? Is 2 hours the mark?
I mean, like, if anybody's got any other questions, we can answer those. But I feel like
let's just sit around and yap a little bit and wait
Yeah.
for questions to come in. Fuck it, why not? I'm
Oh,
relaxing.
nice. Yeah, I'm just chilling right now. Hard to have a good stream / interview with both Humo and Jake. Points at Jake. Well, that's the guy who knows this fucking shit about writing. He's the one who's been keeping this shit afloat.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, uh-huh.
The host is important too, Humo.
Brother, I've just been sitting here, like, half the time I'm just going, yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
You've provided helpful insights sometimes when I had my foot in my mouth and I couldn't say anything. So don't you downplay your own contribution to the stream.
All right, fine. I'll take
You
the
just
dub.
asked me how I feel about last night's stream, and I don't have to vocalize that because everybody already knows.
Oh, boy.
I was there for the first hour of it.
Dude, here's did you go back and watch that?
No, fuck you.
The first hour, I went back and looked back at like the beginning and the end. Dude, the beginning, me and Lanny were full of life. We were so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah, because I was there.
The end, though, dude, it was despair. It was funny because the moment I finished the third game where we were going to stop playing for the night, you could see my spirits lift. The weight was off my shoulders. I was feeling so much better. I clicked on Lanny's stream. I'm like, oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. You got to keep going through this, as I'm cheesing the whole time.
$80.
$80 fucking dollars, man. And you know what he said? I think you were there when he said it, but he was like, oh, it's fine. Fucking my birthday's coming up. I'll recoup the losses then.
Yeah, what a birthday, dog.
You cheated on the third game and did it epically? Hell yeah, I did. Well, you did it epically. Sure. Wasting your time, withering away. Yeah, you did it epically, bud. I'll keep that cheat engine on my fucking shoulders. That's fine. I'll bear that cross.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm glad I dipped at the first hour because if you guys got like withered, I probably would just be dead.
It was bad, man. I
wouldn't
blame
be
you.
here today.
I do not fucking blame you.
Look, bro, I can only take so much Garten of Ban.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got 3 more to go. I hit my limit before, but I'm gonna have to go past that, I guess.
I apologize for the total ego death in advance.
Yeah, well, as long as I can like riff on Lanny the whole time, I'm sure I'll be fine.
Yeah, Mutineer, that's a friend of mine that I invited. Yeah, you should be happy that you don't know the context. But there's the VOD if you want to go watch it. Don't.
Pump those numbers, baby.
Ugh.
Jake really said he wasn't going to be interesting earlier. Guess he's taking the L on this one because this was intriguing as hell, says Vase.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
I'm not cool. Shut up.
Garden of Ban, what's that? Oh boy. You know, I still have the TV on the in the background there with my fucking guys. Look, it's Garden of Ban 4 right here.
No.
I like how I went
please.
through all that effort to like set up the TV, and I didn't use it like fucking once during this whole thing.
Staring at your Steam library.
Yeah.
Play the funny clip.
Oh, the funny clip. Oh, I gotta pull that up.
Yeah.
Well, where's that at? Why is Lanny playing Garden of Ban 4?
I don't know. Fucking ignore him. The brain rot got to him. He's just doing it. Here, I'll just send it to you. I'll just send it to you. in DMs.
Just fucking DM me.
You want the smile one or the evil one?
Which one do you want to go with?
I don't know. Let's do evil one.
All right, evil. All right, here we go. Pops this over. You know what? I could just leave this on in the background. That'll be on the TV.
Oh yeah, there I am.
See, that would have been a good one to leave up the whole fucking time.
Yeah, you know.
Oh Jesus.
Sometimes you miss out.
Yeah, sometimes I have a really good idea after the fact, and I sit there kicking myself in the ass.
It's fine. It would have been funny if you cold opened with that, but
Yeah, well, you know. I was over here scrambling to get this shit ready to go,
Yeah,
so you know how it is.
I was watching in the corner with my legs crossed, smiling.
I'm honestly surprised that this set looks as decent as it does.
Here's one from Ken. The question is this: how does one streamer and Jake the fucking Parade remain such a good human being and mentor? Brother, I just live my life. And anybody who wants to ask me advice, I just tell them what the fuck is up.
Bro, I'm just existing.
I got 26 years on this earth, and they have molded me into the man I am today. And if the advice that I have to give can help people, then I will give it. Smooch.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My brain cells fire off every now and again, and I have something that resembles a good thought. So
He says funny things on the internet.
Yeah, fucking. I yell at GVH bad. Gue, you guys already know that. It's in the Discord. Fucking soundboard. Holy shit.
Don't you love the soundboard, Humo?
Oh, I love the soundboard. That's why I had to kill one of the fucking sounds in it, because I just like fucking lost my mind. Dude, that, what was it? The Bernier? That thing just, it was played enough that my brain just would see fucking red anytime someone did. I had to kill it. And Lassiter won't let me live it down. He's like, Mr. Streamer, give us back the Bernier. I'm like, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Look,
Get out of my head.
I got that shit muted constantly, so you know what? No, change. Hold on. I want to. I don't want to look at. We're not angry right now. This is not angry, Jake. I need you to switch it to the other one.
Okay, yeah.
It's much nicer. We're happy right now. We have vibes. I don't want to scare people. I don't want to intimidate people. This is good, Jake.
Okay, we got we got the self-proclaimed good Jake on screen now.
Teehee. Look, I'm so happy. No, we don't.
Bro,
wait.
it kind of looks like a little bit of like a Joker smile.
Yeah, you know, I'm happy. I'm cheesing.
Yeah.
Smiles. That's what. Whenever I say smiles out loud, I need you to picture that face in your mind.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, I'm trying to like scroll
Yeah.
through chat here too.
They're just hanging out.
Yeah. Everybody just be kicking back. Oh. Hey.
Dragon Corp 6 says, "Will Jake accept this hot dog offering?"
Yeah, okay. I like hot dog.
That one probably came from Tracy, if I remember correctly. Dragon's a Tracy enjoyer.
Tracy's a bad bitch. I'll take it.
Dude,
Those pictures where she takes her hat off.
I
and
was
she shows
just
her hair,
about to say. Those are pretty fucking good.
yummy.
Hey Jake, why do you like Schizo so much?
Because she's like, I just wanted her to ride on my shoulders and call me slurs.
Is that such a bad thing? You know, like wanting to just
No.
put a character on your shoulders? Like I talk about wanting to pick people up all the time.
Yeah,
That's one of my
she's a
inspirations for
She's
Jim.
a little creature.
Creator.
She's a little creator with puppets on her hands. And she makes me feel violent thoughts that I direct onto other people.
Well, what about Judy? Judy has little puppets on her hands.
Judy's okay. I'd still hit her in the head with a shovel, but she's okay.
Woof.
Yeah, Schizo wouldn't like that, probably.
Probably not. She'd probably try to blow your brain up with her mind.
I'll take the bite on the throat for that one.
Yeah. Are you one of the bite guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll blast myself live on air. I don't care.
That's fine.
I like getting bit.
Okay. I mean, like, you know, you didn't have to go that in depth. All you had to do was say yeah.
If it doesn't bleed, it doesn't count.
All right. I'm just really leaning into it now, huh?
Yeah, bro. I don't care. I've given up at this point. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Listen to the words coming from my mouth.
I'm putting my hands up, bro. It's fine. If you want to get bitted, go for it. Like, look, you've got bite bros unite from Vase. You got biting bros, yeah, from cocaine. Like, yeah, don't worry.
I'm with my crowd. I have my crowd. Solidarity in the bite.
Look, all I'm saying is that
no curb stomp bros. Get the fuck out of here.
I was about to mention Artiv coming out of the fucking woodworks for that one, but yeah, no, obviously
Artis doesn't want to
take
get
it
bit.
far.
He wants to get disemboweled.
Yeah, but like if it was through biting, I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
No.
I mean, you can say no, but
No.
what would you say to someone who calls Schizo mid?
Run.
Fair. Do they get added to the list?
The kill list?
Well, I was thinking the pan list, but
Everybody's already on that anyway.
oh,
They get elevated
oh,
to the pain list.
the pain list. We added an eye to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, there's a piece that Beste made. Have you seen it?
Oh, with you with the pan, or was it with
No,
the
no,
shovel?
With the shovel. With
Oh yeah.
So in the background.
Yeah.
cheering me on.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Put
Hold
that
up.
up on stream.
Let's
Put
see.
it up on stream.
Yeah. That would be in like the fucking fridge, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I've also reposted it around a couple times.
Okay. Jumps in there. Scrolls around. Up there's bite posting in there. Yep, that makes sense. Oh, here we go.
Hold up. Gotta look now.
There we go. Now pop this back up. Dude, I like that I can turn the TV on and off. It's so nice.
Just like a real podcast.
So easy, baby. There we go.
There's
We got
me.
it up on the screen.
Your snoot wife there, bro. Whoever's looking, that's your snoot wife I'm about to fucking murder.
Yeah. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Look, there. Look at the X's on the back. I cut their wings off, too. Could be
Damn.
Fang, you don't know.
Well, I mean, it
They
has
don't
to be
have-
someone with wings then, right?
They don't have any wings anymore.
Is it Latican?
Yeah, it's Latican.
Oh, no.
He's got titties.
Well, I mean...
It's female Yatican.
This is his wife, maybe?
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, wow. Oh, we've suddenly pumped the fucking brakes, guys. That one's too far.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Oh. Not that one.
There's... Ooh.
Huh? Huh?
Yeah. What?
What? Huh?
What?
Hmm?
Huh? What are we
What?
doing?
I don't know. What are we doing?
I'm just staring at myself on the screen right now.
You're just fucking, like, dazed.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
boy.
me. I kill.
Oh, you have a question from Karos. I take it Punch Drunk is the next fish. Let me try that again. We have a question from Karos Saleri. Oh yeah, I take it Punch Drunk is the next fic to read.
You said it was going to be wrapping up soon, right?
God willing, inshallah.
Tune in Sunday.
Oh. Oh. Is this a promise, Mr. Streamer? Waggles eyebrows intently.
It might be.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
feral.
Yeah, I'd been tossing that one around in the old head. I know I wanted to do a Wani thing next, and you know what? It makes sense. Makes
You're
sense.
just gonna leave none off where it is.
We're gonna keep doing none. It's just gonna be like a on and off type deal.
Okay, fair enough. Now that you know that there's not gonna be anything to proceed, you want to savor none.
Yeah. Keep it as long as we can. Not to mention, like, you know, if we're doing like 2 read streams a week, having one be none's fine, and then we could just have something else. So running them in tandem if need be.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill MP by the way. Just later, just saying.
What MP
I'm
do?
gonna kill MP. Yeah, I'm just gonna DM it to you. I'm just gonna kill him later.
Okay.
Don't show that on stream. I'll get mad.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
do show it on stream. I will get fuck off.
Okay. Looks at this. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm assuming he put that in the Discord.
I don't know if he did or not. He DM'd it to
He
me.
DM'd it to you. Oh,
Yes.
so that was a direct strike on your psyche.
That was a tactical nuke directly to my
Okay.
fucking brain.
Damn.
Fuck it, just put it up on stream. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, sure, man. I fucking would have let it sit, but if you're insisting,
I don't care. They need to see where my seething
seething
rage
hatred
boiling up
is.
from.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Here we go.
Ugh.
And now you've seen why Jake is aggro right now. It's oh
I'm
boy.
angry. I'm angry.
I'm pissed off.
He promised he'd keep the WMDs away. Liar.
I'm
Well.
mad. I'm platinum mad.
Hey, Jake.
Yeah.
You want to go in there and beat the fuck out of them?
No.
No?
No, I don't.
No?
What, like just in the fucking voice chat, just kill them?
Yeah, just like end their lives.
They're all like muted and watching Reed play Europa Universalis 4 or some shit.
They're watching
wouldn't
Europa
be-
Universalis 4?
I don't know. Either that, it's what Reed said he's streaming. I don't.
How many
fucking
people
know.
are even still alive in there?
12?
What if we just carpet bombed them?
I don't know. Do you want to do that? What if they just start shouting slurs?
Oh, that's true. the sinister chambers is there.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, now fucking Reed is sending me salacious images in DMs now. It's appreciated, brother. But calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down.
You know, I think that probably is a pretty decent place to end it off on. We've had a good discussion on writing and creative processes. Had a good little, what I would call like a pseudo yap here at the end. You know,
Yeah, a little goofball, little goof antics.
a little bit of fun shit. I'd say for a first creator spotlight, That went really well. I'm glad you were willing to hop on this with me.
Hey, you know what? I had a really fucking good time. So
Fuck
There you go.
Fuck yeah.
yeah,
Well,
man. Well, bring it up right now at the end. Who you got? Who's thinking? Sorry, hold on. Give me a second. I need to
Yep.
compose my thoughts.
yep, go ahead.
Who are you thinking about bringing on next?
I would like to bring on, if they're willing, Vase. I'd like to have them on next.
Why? Ooh, yeah.
They-
Shoes on the other foot now, motherfucker.
They wanted you on pretty hard. I feel like it's only fair that we try and get them on. You know what I mean?
Shoes on the other foot now, motherfucker. It's your turn to get in the chair, and it's my turn for me to compliment you endlessly.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
Ought to be a good time. Plus, we'll get a little bit of a view from some of the artists in the community too, which is
Exactly.
nice.
You got a writer, you got an artist.
Hey, maybe you can get Roach next. You
Hey.
got a game maker.
I've said that I would love to have the Mimi crew, either Roach or like more of the members. This isn't a type of deal where I'm like limiting it to one person. If there's a group who wants to hop on and talk, that is perfectly fine too.
Hey, you know, somebody else said it in the chat, so I'm just bringing up a point. But if you ever need a co-host, wink.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing is too, like, obviously having more people on does mean that we can have more in-depth discussions because there's more perspectives to be had on these types of things. Like for a first run on this went really well. And there's obviously ways we can improve this in the future. So I'm more than willing to let other people hop on this with me. It's going to be a bitch and a half formatting the goddamn room here, but that's fine. That's my own
Just
deal.
have me hang from the ceiling.
Yeah?
That's fine.
You know what? That's maybe we can make like a little like fucking schizo at the bottom that's like brain beaming you up into the air.
That would be so fucking good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No,
the
if you ever
fun
want me
thing.
to hop on and like fucking put the co-host jorts on, I will.
Okay, sounds good, man. I'll probably take you up on that sooner rather than later.
I'll be waiting and ready.
All right. Everybody who's still sticking around, hope you had a good time with this first creator spotlight. I don't know when the next one will be. I'll see about maybe having it next week. The thing with how these are going, I don't know if we want to make it every single week, but I do want to try and get through some like a good chunk of people in a rapid succession here. You know?
Yeah, we got a good pool from the community, like a current like close community to draw from, and then maybe after we got a couple of those down pat, we could start
Slowing
our
it down a little bit.
Getting our little grubby fingers out in the Snoot Club or something. Maybe.
Absolutely. That'd be fucking terrific. So yeah, Jake, thank you for being here. Everybody else?
Aye.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say aye, Captain.
Aye, Captain. All
It's
right.
been a pleasure, everybody.
Have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. And I'll catch you tomorrow for community night. Don't ask what it is, because I'm still figuring that shit out.
Later on.
Bye-bye.